afternoon. Thank you for coming. I'm Anna Karagati, the Group Editorial Director of World Screen. Branded entertainment has taken center stage over the last few years here at MIPTV, and today we are proud to have with us an advertising visionary who is leading Coca-Cola into the content-led marketing world. His career spans times at some of the world's leading advertising agencies, but since 2006, Jonathan Mildenhall has been with the Coca-Cola Company, shaping some of the most famous brands in the world, including Coke, Coke Zero, Sprite, Fanta, and Powerade. Jonathan is responsible for leading global creative vision and strategy for the company's portfolio of global brands. In his role, he oversees marketing communication strategies, core creative idea development, and content production. His most notable work includes ads that all of you and most of the world have seen. The 2009 launch of Open Happiness for Coca-Cola now runs in 206 markets, representing 100% of the brand's volume. Fanta Play, the first ever global campaign for the company's second largest brand, is now launched in 92 markets, representing 80% of the brand's global volume. Most recently, Jonathan's team co-led the development of the FIFA World Cup 2010 program, which was the Coca-Cola Company's largest ever marketing activation, launching in over 160 markets and contributing to Coca-Cola becoming one of the most globally recalled tournament sponsors. But the buck does not stop with ads, and as you'll soon see, Jonathan is today applying his contagious energy, creative vision, and overall positivity to bringing content to life for the Coca-Cola Company. Please welcome on stage, Jonathan Mildenhall.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everybody. The first thing I want to say is thank you to first of all, for you all giving us the next 45 minutes of your time. I'm very, very familiar with Cannes, not necessarily familiar with this conference, but I understand our competition for your time is quite intense, so I do appreciate you giving us the next 45 minutes. Secondly, I'd like to thank MIPTV for inviting Coca-Cola to be part of this community. The Coca-Cola Company take our engagement with communities like this very, very seriously, and that's because we understand that it's our current and potential relationship with you all that is going to really help future-proof our marketing strategy as we lean into new forms of consumer brand engagement. And then finally, I'd just like to thank Ogilvy. Ogilvy are a tremendous partner with the Coca-Cola Company on a global basis. In fact, they're our biggest agency partnership that we have, and have done fantastic work on Coke Zero, which we're going to share with you later. Fanta, all of Fanta, worldwide creative output comes from Ogilvy, and Coca-Cola, brand Coca-Cola in certain markets. So thank you, Ogilvy. What we're going to do over the next 10, 15, 20 minutes is I'm just going to share with you some of the highlights of the company's content manifesto. And then I'm going to introduce Benoit, who runs Ogilvy Paris, and he's going to take you through the Coke Zero case study, very, very fresh case study that attempts to integrate some of the principles of brand engagement, brand entertainment that I'm going to share with you. Now, the full content manifesto can be found on YouTube. So if you just search Content 2020 or Coca-Cola Company Content Manifesto, you will find the entire body of work on YouTube, but I'm just going to headline a number of chapters and then deep dive with you 3 chapters that I think are relevant to the work that you all do. Also, the best way of communicating with me in today's social media age is on Twitter. I am very active on Twitter, and if you have ideas, challenges, things that please you about what you're about to hear, things that challenge you or trouble you or opportunities that you see, then please engage with me at Mildenhall on Twitter. Right, there are 10 chapters within the company's Content 2020 manifesto. Chapter 1 just talks about why the company are moving from traditional advertising to what we call content excellence. And content excellence is based on our marketing communications strategy, which is a global strategy entitled Liquid and Linked. So that first chapter just really sets out what the major shifts are for us in terms of our approach to marketing. The second chapter highlights our case for change. So within this, these are issues that you guys are all too familiar with. First is the distribution of technology. Second is the distribution of creativity. And thirdly is really the intensity of competitive activity as far as investors and shareholders and business performance is concerned. And the Coca-Cola Company intend to double the size of the business between now and 2020. And so that means that every single marketing norm needs to be reconsidered if we're going to meet such aggressive volume and business growth objectives. Chapter 3 talks about the evolution of storytelling, and you guys are all storytellers, so I thought that I'd play the first chapter so that you can really get a feel for the type of content and the type of discussion that we're having in the context of storytelling. Chapter 3, the evolution of storytelling. With this in mind, we need to focus on the evolution of storytelling. We need to move from one-way storytelling to dynamic storytelling. What is the definition of dynamic storytelling? Well, it's the development of incremental elements of a brand idea that get dispersed systematically across multiple channels of conversation for the purposes of creating a unified and coordinated brand experience. The role of content excellence is to behave like a ruthless editor, otherwise we'll risk just creating noise. Therefore, we need to build system-wide capabilities in dynamic storytelling. We have identified 5 key capability areas. The first is serial storytelling. The second is multifaceted storytelling. The third is spreadable storytelling. The fourth is immersion and discovery storytelling. And the fifth is engagement through storytelling. We must remember that storytelling is at the heart of all families, communities, and cultures, and it's something that the Coca-Cola Company has excelled at for 125 years. So we talk storytelling, and you all are storytellers, but as you guys know better than me, the way that we used to tell stories, just one way from the producer or from the brand, from the channel, to an eagerly awaiting consumer group, target audience, that has all changed because of on-demand TV, because of technology, etc., because of consumers' interest and appetite for engaging with stories and interpreting them through their own lenses and sharing those stories with their own networks of friends. So the big move for the Coca-Cola Company in the first instance is from one-way storytelling to what we call dynamic storytelling. Chapter 4 of the Content 2020 manifesto sets out how we're going to bake our sustainability agenda, which we call Live Positively, into our storytelling plans across the board. Chapter 5 talks about our need to move from insights that everybody has access to provocations. These provocations demand fundamental transformic actions that are going to truly unlock massive business growth for us. And we need those provocations to be at the heart of our commercial and creative briefs. And we refer to the creative brief as the big, fat, fertile, idea-centric creative brief, which again, you're going to see how Ogilvy Paris responded to our big, fat, fertile creative brief on Coke Zero. Chapter 6 really unpacks how we're going to develop liquid content almost from a production point of view and certainly from a creative stakeholder point of view. And within this chapter, we talk about our need to inspire participation amongst the world's finest creative minds. And again, because of this audience, I thought that it would be relevant to share this chapter with you. Chapter 6, Developing Liquid Content. We have a definition of content. and that is the creation of stories that are to be expressed through every possible connection. For the Coca-Cola Company, each story must add value and significance to people's lives. Our content is the substance or matter of brand engagement and conversation. As such, it has to be the world's most engaging content. And we have a definition of liquid: elements of content that move freely amongst themselves but do not become separated stories, rather like molecules that become gases if they become too separate. Our stories must remain connected. But these ideas will be so compelling, they take on a life force of their own. The fluidity of our ideas means that no one model of development can do it all. We need more collaborative and adaptive and continuous models of development. We are working with several different models right now, from working directly with creative talent, to working with brand fans, to working with new creative industry collaborators, to working with a rockstar single agency across all of our particular needs. All of these require different processes, but all require the same principles. We have 5 guiding principles in co-creation. The first is to inspire participation amongst the very, very best. The second is to connect these creative minds. The third is to share the results of our efforts. The fourth is to continue development. And the fifth is to measure our success. So how do we manage the development of a liquid idea? Our role is to govern its flow. We need to define the North Star, some big audacious impact on popular culture. We need to bring out the creativity in all those we work with. We need to encourage bravery. We need to be a catalyst for play. We need to ensure clarity in our thinking. We need to embrace risk and all that entails. And we need to incubate creative ideas and create a culture of creativity. We also know that world-class creative ideas need tension in order to make them thrive. So we need to all learn how to use conflict constructively, as conflict can truly be an enabler of outstanding creative thinking. So that chapter sets out how we're going to approach content development. But then the next chapter talks about our investment strategy. And here you'll just hear the understanding of how we approach our budget spend. From 70% payback, we know how that investment's going to work, 20% where we innovate off that, and then 10%, which is brand new ideas, where we're going to invest in these ideas to develop system learning. Chapter 8 talks about our challenges to the research industry and how we need the research industry to join us on a pioneering journey to better research liquid ideas. And Chapter 9 talks about how we want to apply this concept that we've got called the dollar multiplier to content production. And again, in here it says that we're committed to developing relationships directly with the production industries. Chapter 9, applying the dollar multiplier to the iterative production process. Moving into production, we need a more fluid approach to the production process. In a liquid world, we need multiple content, so we need a lot more stuff without a lot more dollars. We need to plan for this in the outset, and we've developed a principle called the dollar multiplier. We also need to accept that some content needs won't be known until we're in market, so we must maintain flexibility so we can respond to the conversations. In a liquid world, we need tentpole and tent-peg productions. Each is vital in holding up the brand story. We need to fuel the development of both through new and emerging creative models, working with new and different creative partners. As a result, we will probably increase the percentage of production spend working directly with production companies. Remember, we need to iterate, iterate, iterate. Don't just replicate your production content. So then chapter 10 just summarizes all of that. So that's the company's evolved content agenda that you can find on YouTube. But I think the first principle that I want to leave with you all today is that we believe that creativity is the crucial variable in turning knowledge into value. And that stands true of brand entertainment. How can you take knowledge that everybody sees and turn it into unique value for your brand or for your company? For us, branded entertainment can really help us drive reconsideration. And what I'm about to share with you now is the documentary trailer that hasn't yet been seen for our London Olympics campaign with music producer Mark Ronson and his journey around the world to try and find musical inspiration from athletes that we work with so that he could record and produce the Coca-Cola Olympic music anthem. We turned this journey into a documentary series. That in itself became an event in London. That event in London has been filmed and that's been developed into advertising. So you can see in just this documentary a first attempt at liquid content.
We're going to make a track, like a sort of club fun track for everyone to dance to. But as well as the drums in the track, we're going to use the sounds of gymnastics and different sports. You guys are like the pop stars, basically. It could be the sort of sound of the London Olympics if we get it right. She's so fast. As soon as she started, I was like, When
I first heard they're gonna take sounds from our sport and make it into a song, I was like, man, how is he gonna do that?
I'm on a bicycle and that was like tough. You know, you make music and you create it in this vacuum and then you realize that you're making it because people want to enjoy dancing to it. Congratulations, you just recorded your first #1 record. It's like that's a kind of kick drum that you couldn't even buy.
It's perfect. Are you gonna beat the out of it now?
It was just so important to be there and to see these athletes and spend so much time around them and be in their environment to understand how to make it work in the track. On the count of 3, let's have it. 1, 2, 3. Let's have it! All the musicians and the athletes whose sounds go into the track will be actually performing it live.
To be in Olympics is a big dream for all athletes.
When the clock strikes 8:50 or whatever on August the 8th out in London and the finals go off, you have to perform.
There's no plugin that cheats a brilliant performance.
So brilliant brand entertainment, long-form TV content to help us drive deeper emotional experiences with teens all over the world for the London 2012 Olympics. But brand entertainment can also strike brand love. So take a look at this next trailer, which is the David Guetta film that we created with Burn, our energy drink, to help drive Burn's credibility in the world of nightlife and DJ dance music.
I want to share my passion with everyone. I want to make the best music possible. I cannot look at myself in the mirror if I don't give 100%. My ambition is new each day. I have so much to learn and so much to achieve.
So something that we're very, very proud of has been seen as a feature film in over 65 markets. But branded entertainment also looks for new possibilities. And here I'm going to take you through the highlights of our relationship with Dolce & Gabbana, who helped us celebrate the 125th anniversary of Coca-Cola for our first foray into the world of high fashion, a huge passion point entertainment platform all around the world for our teenage drinkers.
So the DMG Fall/Winter 2011 and 12 for next winter, it's all about color and personal style.
Drink Coca-Cola. I stop now, look good for the show.
This is the new shape of the jacket. All the jackets have like printed linings or printed under collar, finished with the knit. We have also jackets in knit. The shape is, as you can see, cropped and boxy, in felted jacquard. Finale is with different prints. It's a mix of technique in printing.
So we're very, very proud of that branded entertainment that takes the conversation of Coca-Cola into a completely different genre. For teenage target audiences all around the world, we all know that gaming is increasingly valuable as a passion point. And here, again, with working with Ogilvy Worldwide, we've turned the Fanta communication platform into a much deeper and immersive discovery gaming platform. So what you're about to see is a 30-second ad, and then some beta footage of how we're turning that world into a gaming platform that will engage teenagers all over the world. And then finally, music. Music is such a huge entertainment platform for many, many categories, not just the soft drinks category. And here, I'm proud to share with you just a recap of what we did for the 2010 South African World Cup, where we were able to work with Keynote, develop authentic music that actually went to #1 in 18 different markets, extending Coca-Cola Company, Coca-Cola brand's conversation across the World Cup period into a very, very credible culture-creating area like music. So branded entertainment for the Coca-Cola Company in the world of fashion, in the world of gaming, in the world of music, in the world of TV, and in the world of experiences. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Benoit de Florian from Ogilvy Paris, who's going to take all of that kind of theory and illustrate how Ogilvy Paris have put it into practice on Coke Zero.
Thank you. Bonjour. I'm very proud to be here with you today at MIPTV with the most prestigious client you can dream of when you run an advertising agency. I head Ogilvy and Mather Advertising in Paris. We've been working with Jonathan on Coke Zero for a bit more than 1 year, and I'm very proud to present today our first baby together. It's a big, beautiful baby, I hope, and it's a great evidence of liquid and lit in action. So, every branded entertainment needs to start in a big, fertile space. And Coke Zero has an awesome one. It's the space of possibilities. And it's a space which resonates particularly well with young adults today. If you think to them, they are living in a world where almost anything is possible. And they are in front of hundreds and hundreds of possibilities and opportunities to seize. So it must be for them a thrilling sensation, but sometimes also maybe a frightening one. Because when you think of it, the more possibilities there are in front of you, the more difficult it is to choose one path. And the more ambition, the greater the expectations. In fact, the more difficult the first step to take is it's a tough one to take. So, in other words, when you are in front of such amazing possibilities, there is a feeling that you can easily have. It's a kind of paralyzing feeling. So, back to Coke Zero. There is a belief at the heart of this brand, which is really a strong belief. Coke Zero believes that action drives possibility. Coke Zero believes that only the individuals and the brands that act and take risks are the ones who will look and reach for their goals. So there could be a great role to play for Coke Zero. Imagine, what if Coke Zero could give this generation the inspiration and the encouragement they need to turn their possibilities into realities? What if Coke Zero could help this generation act on their dreams? What if Coke Zero could drive this generation forward? That's where branded entertainment enters into the game. So, as Jonathan said, branded entertainment needs storytelling and a particular form of storytelling, dynamic storytelling. But in the case of Coke Zero, we need more than that. If we want to drive generation forward, then we need to apply to ourselves a very simple driving principle. Every story we tell should inspire action. Let's think of Into the Wild. You know the book, you know the film, and it was a great story of a young guy who embarked on a journey of a lifetime. But it was not just a beautiful book, it was not just a beautiful film, it was a story that inspired lots of people around the world to embark on a personal journey. So it's a great evidence that entertainment, or a specific form of entertainment, can really drive action. And so we started to think of a story that would make millions of people come together and create a global movement. We wanted, in other words, our own version of Into the Wild. And then dance came in. You have behind me a beautiful quote of Gabriel Roth. Dance ties in perfectly with what Coke Zero stands for. It's all about optimism. It's optimism in motion. It's the perfect opposite of paralysis. It's a universal language that unites people around the world. It inspires. In dance, anything is possible. So we felt we had to do something with dance, something authentic, something powerful, something daring. And we started to dream of making the world dance. And an idea started to take shape in our minds. This idea was pretty simple. We wanted to find an amazing guy in the world. An amazing guy whose dream hadn't been made possible yet. An amazing guy with a dancing dream and the rage to make it happen. And we wanted to leverage the power of social media, the power of the Coke Zero brand, to help him make his dream happen. We wanted to generate content, lots of content to encourage him. We wanted to use every platform, social, digital, mobile, TV, that would really help him along the way. And we wanted, as an outcome, to create a global movement from zero. So here is how we did it and how we gave birth to this idea. First, we partnered with John Chu and the LXD, the Legion of Extraordinary Dancers. If we want to be serious about branded entertainment, then we need to partner with the guys who really know about entertainment. We are just advertisers. So it was obvious for us, in our case, that we needed to partner with famous professional dancers. They would bring their credibility, their talent to the whole project, and they would bring also their influence within the community. Second, we launched a never-done-before social audition. 32 markets around the world participated to the audition through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But it was not the first massive audition. What was very special about this audition is that it was interactive. In fact, we had the LXD crew interacting with all the submitters lively. So they encouraged them, they coached them through messages they posted on YouTube, through comments they posted too. And so not only it resulted in improving the quality of submissions, but most importantly, it really made the conversation grow bigger and bigger. 3, we found our guy. After more than 500 uploads, after tons of online conversations. And you'll see in the video I'm about to present to you, we were very lucky to find Joey. Joey Knucklehead. For the French-speaking audience, Joey Tête de Phalange. Joey had really an inspiring story to share with us. The story of his life and the story of a dance movement of his own. He called it the toe tapis. So we helped him with the LXD and with John Chu to polish it up to its most perfect and simplest form. And then, once it was done, we brought Joey and its toe tapis dance move on tour in Tokyo, in New Zealand, in Germany, in Hollywood. We generated user content, lots of user content, more than 20 hours in total. We made the conversation spread all over the world. We made people dance the toe tapis. We generated books, we generated video clips, and we made toe tapis become a part of pop culture. And then, when the story was solid and amazing enough, we wrapped it up in a TV commercial. A film really iconic and very emotional. It's the best way for us to encapsulate the message of the brand. It's also a great way to show the way to all the other Joeys and to help them pursue their dreams. It will be aired in the coming months. It's just finishing. We are just finishing it at the moment, and it will be aired in lots of markets in the coming months. And we really hope it will mark the beginning of lots of other Make It Possible projects.
When I sit back and look at that fantastic body of work, Ogilvy and Mather and Ogilvy Paris make me humbled to do the job I do, because I think that is just fantastic brand entertainment. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for your time. Really, really do appreciate it. We hope you've been inspired about what you've seen. Thank you.